Can you hear me? Mic check. Working? Cool. Hi guys. So my name is Oben Shabbat. I'm the founder and CEO of Digital Combat Academy, or in short, DCA. And I'm gonna present you with a story about entrepreneurship needs and acoustic solutions we found during the 7th of October. So a bit about myself. First, I'm a hardcore gamer with more than 10,000 hours in military simulation, tactical shooter genre, which is practically saying that I'm doing military simulations in my spare time. Against my mom's advice, I made it a career and became a game and product designer in various gaming companies in Israel and in the world. And I founded DCA at 2022, actually as a gaming consultancy company. But I'm also here standing because I'm a reservist major as a tank company commander for the past 18 years. And this is my company. I'm somewhere in the middle. And in 2022, two major things also happened. I de facto became the company commander of my unit. So the burden of the responsibility was heavy on my shoulders, getting to take care of all my soldiers, which are more than 100 individuals. And the Ukraine-Russia war escalated, showing me that wars are not over, and we need to prepare. So we wanted to prepare for what's going to happen without actually knowing what's in there. And I wanted to rehearse every possible mission and scenario that could happen. I became obsessed of that thing. And then urgency came, October 7th came, and I felt I wasn't ready. Of course, maybe it goes without saying, but I was there, me and my unit, and despite years of training, we didn't reverse this. We couldn't even imagine such scenarios. And I felt that even though we trained a lot and we practiced in wars in the past, we lacked mission-specific rehearsals before doing this operation or any operation. So let me tell you what we do have. So we have traditional training, which makes sense, but it's costly, slow, and limited because of ammunition or because you need to go to a specific area and train. So you do that, frankly, low frequency. And then you got the simulations. But most of them, in my opinion, in my experience, are complex. They have low fidelity. The scenarios you train are pretty outdated, of course, not related to what we are covering right now. And the complex systems makes the onboarding really, really slow, makes it time consuming. And I felt like I don't have enough mission rehearsal tools. Most of the things I see are for the individual weapon system or the individual person, whether it's a rifleman or battalion commander. But it's for the one person, and the full mission trainers are maybe for the high echelons full mission trainers, and not my unit size in between, company and battalion. So I did what I do best. I went for gaming. I needed something immediate, flexible, and impactful right now. So we turn out the gaming side of things that we do in DCA. And this is how DCA rebirthed from gaming consultancy to a war pivot. So we repurpose the expertise to supply a solution right here, right now. So in order to do a rapid development, we went for actually what we know and took an off-the-shelf FPS game, first-person shooter game, to make some kind of an extended POC during the war. We didn't took it as it is from the shelf. We had to modify it in order to accommodate the needs of a combative company or battalion in real missions. So we made it a mission-based training system. So what do I mean by that? In order to do so, we decided to take 4 pillars from the gaming industry in order to achieve that. So first, this is a word you hear a lot, immersive. For it to be a full mission trainer rehearsal, we needed the people, the trainees, to feel like this is a real thing. The sounds, the chaos, the chatter, the dilemmas. We needed to be flexible because missions are diverse. We had missions in the north, in the south, in the West Bank. We needed to be relevant missions for the relevant trainees. Time is of the essence. Every combatant needs to do a lot, need to do first aid and Krav Maga in my country, And all of that, he needs to squeeze everything into limited time. So we needed to teach them how to use the system rapid fast. And in the end, in gaming, we don't sneeze if you don't have data that it's improved something. We wanted to use the data in order to get insights that we couldn't get from the mission itself. So I'm going to explain it a little bit later. So what we did is to create the pistol. We call it pistol. We looked for combative name. So it's portable training simulation lab, which makes every trainee sits in the same room. We made first a fully portable for conflict zones to get to the borders and train while the fighting is going on, and later on semi-portable in training bases. So we got full units in there. We could also chain those containers to each other to increase the size of the classroom. And we got the whole companies and even battalions inside to do the debriefing and to live the scenario instead of talking about it or sandboxing about it. So why we did that? Imagine a tactical unit, specifically ground. I'm more aiming right now towards ground rather than air and sea, but we did experiment with combinations of air and sea because of fire support for the ground forces. So a tactical unit have many individuals, sometimes hundreds. It needs to do high communication in high uncertainty and in unfamiliar terrain usually, especially when you're attacking and you can't train on that. And you need to respond fast because lives are at stake. And why I'm telling you that is because we focused on three things in these classroom missions. We did mission reversal because if you knew you had a mission in a few hours or days, you would rehearse it. We did tactical events in the past, meaning that if something happened catastrophically or even good in another company's area or another battalion, even in another front, you could, instead of giving a sheet with insights and hope for the soldiers to read, they would react the same mission as their other company did and get all the knowledge and what works and what's not. And for units that didn't wanted any of those, just wanted to practice attack, defense, like the basics, raid, we did also that, focusing on decision making under pressure and communication skills, which were acoustic for friendly fire incidents, probably the main source of friendly fire incidents, and it happens. Practically, we aim to add mileage, actual mileage for all of the missions that they were doing, as if you can equivalent it into pilots, where they're doing hours in the simulator, which are equivalent of doing the mission. This is our aim. So I'm talking a lot about immersive mission rehearsal. I can show you what we trained on for obvious reasons, but I do want to show you a POC that was working with US veterans from around the world to recreate a raid mission on a company size, something around 100 blue for against around 40 human up for. And all of the participants right now are using only mouse and keyboards and headsets to communicate, but only mouse and keyboard. I'm going to show you 2 minutes of it. Hopefully the sound will work. Wait. Incoming. Notice the communication, the shouting, the chatter, the mess. Three fire. It's not like this is any hardcover. You can hear the radio chatter. I wish I could help them. I wish I could see anybody back there. Details for carrying wounded players into the safe zone. BMP North. BMP North. BMP North. They're applying tourniquets to each other while they're preparing for the attack. So usually after we train, we need to also wipe the screens, the monitors, because of all of the shouting of the chaos of the drill itself. So this is a little bit about it. Hold on. So doing those kind of training made us gather some data, some traction. So like that, we did drills that trained more than 3,000 trainees, both Army and civilians, mostly commander decision making. They reported of 86% improvement in combat readiness and mission readiness, and almost 90% satisfaction, meaning they wanted more training sessions with us. And I'm going to tell you what we did a little bit differently. So role playing and tactical adaptation is something really important for us, because in real missions, you have civilians, you have hostages, you have communication failures, and they add to the chaos. We wanted to recreate that. So we had human-driven OPFOR, and they did everything. They did sometimes they did support forces, sometimes they did civilians, sometimes they did insurgents that pull out the knife, and or sometimes they did combative dilemmas. We noticed how multiplayer gaming from this genre, we noticed how it's so important for digital training to know that you are against a human OPFOR, to know that your enemy is thinking and trying to trick you, instead of just using AI, which usually, from my experience, usually it doesn't behave the same as humans. It's sometimes doing really, really weird stuff that you say, well, I'm out of the immersion. This is not real training. This is a game, or this is all pretending, and you pull out of the training session. So we saw how this is strengthening the cognitive resilience in real simulation situational awareness. One more thing that we did is minimizing learning tax. I told you how little time combatants have, especially at war, but also in times of peace. So we focused on intuitive tutorials for record-fast onboarding phases, which looks like that. You narrow down each function into a specific area of learning, and we added those human operators to pull the trainees out of in the digital world and follow them doing the tutorials, to make it something like 20 minutes tutorial, and then all of the rest of the training session could be the real drills and rehearsals. One more thing that we did, which I call ADA, is adaptive difficulty adjustments. We don't believe, we saw how every unit is different in terms of age, gender, how much they are tech savvy, and a construct platoon is not like special forces units. They behave differently, they operate differently, and we needed to adjust the scenarios that they wanted dynamically to how they were performing. So it was very important for the success of the whole session, because if not, they would feel like they're not learning, they would be frustrated, they would lose the belief of a simulation session as a whole. And lastly, if I'm not wrong, is a powerful data-driven debrief. So we started getting a lot of data from all destruction. And we got into a unit/mission performance analysis, meaning that as long as we gather traction, we saw patterns in performance that we wanted to utilize, meaning that when enough units did the same missions, or a big unit did a full mission, and his, let's say, brigade did a mission, and all of its battalion did their part in the mission, we started seeing patterns. So first of all, we saw how different units accomplished the same mission, helped us pinpoint for the same mission who needs to do more rehearsal and who is in great shape. So we could grade them and say, this battalion is okay, he can get out and do the mission. This one needs more training. It needs more rehearsal. It needs maybe to do only communication training, so you know how to invest in your training resources later on. And the other thing that was very interesting, that what I was saying, that let's say a battalion did a full mission of a mission it's about to do digitally. So he noticed how, with enough iteration, let's say 3 iterations of the same mission with the same battalion, he noticed how Company 1 is much better in assault than Company 2, which was excelling in defense. So he could decide that Company 2 is about to do the defense because he don't have a lot of time. He need to take this decision. Okay, so enough with feature right now. We have more, but they told me I'm have limited time. So this is just the beginning. We want to push forward towards training in a different way. We aim to develop one software to train them all, meaning every unit in every scenario. And as you saw, the Battle Pass helping us do it everywhere in the world, meaning unit mission trainer, first aid treatment scheme, drone operators, all inside one pistol, one computer lab. Furthermore, we believe in full AI integration, meaning the AI will extract insights that human didn't see. Let's imagine transcript of all the radio comms. What was hidden in the training session? Who shot who and why? Transforming the ADA into AI ADA. Instead of adjusting it with stupid mechanism, let the AI decide what's the difficulty. It should be higher or lower. And lastly, I don't know if I have enough time, but using AI agents to even make the onboarding even more personal. Anyone knows this video with from OpenAI? That's
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great. It looks like you're about to dive into some Minecraft. Ready to build, explore, and got a few mods? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make a sword. My son plays this game all the time. I have no idea what I'm doing. No worries. I'm here to help you impress your son. I see you've got a crafting table in front of you, which is a great start. To craft a sword, you'll need some materials. When you open your inventory, just press E on your keyboard. Yeah, do I have what I need? Let's see. You got some sticks. Perfect for the sword's handle, but it looks like you're missing the material for the blade. You can use wood, stone, iron, gold, or diamond. Let's start by gathering some wood or stone. Shall we head out and find some resources? Yeah, that sounds great. Oh my god, what's that? Oh no, it's a zombie. Run, you need to get away from it fast.
So imagine how a personalized AI could see how well you're doing and make the onboarding really, really personalized for you and making it even more effective and fast. And lastly, sorry about that, tech. And lastly, as probably expected, we want to upgrade it into a full sensory experience. We noticed how the common denominator for every unit is mouse and keyboard, but it can be improved. The tech is there. So you want to integrate XR and also haptic and electric. I'm very favorite about electric sensory because when you have something to lose, even if it's a little bit of pain, you take the simulation much more seriously. So this modified video game version was just a battle-tested proof of concept. This is not the product we want. This is what we got in a short notice, let's say. We are now aimed with all the traction and knowledge we got from the past 1.5 years to build a dedicated tool, which is the derivative of all of the feedback and requests that combatants got, and make sure it's suitable for Europe, also for the US, because we think that the next conflicts are over there, and there are a lot more people to train outside the world than in Israel. The future vision is to make training indistinguishable from reality. This is the goal, because we believe that when the next war comes, hopefully not, but when the next war comes, soldiers shouldn't experience their mission for the first time on the battlefield, especially new recruits, which didn't see any war. They should have already been there digitally. Thank you.